tell you what, I hope this is a sign of things to come for today. You know, 2 days ago I had a fantastic day, 16 miles, I was cranking, it felt so good. Yesterday was, I mean, every day out here is a wonderful day, but I was just so tired. I just could not get in the swing of things. Every uphill just killed me. Now I just woke up this morning, went about a mile, and then had an 1,100-foot climb up Kelly's Knob, and man, I mean, it was hard, really hard, but I felt good, and it, you know, I'm doing well. So it's kind of all downhill from here. I mean, obviously there's a bunch more uphills, but nothing major all the way to Dix Creek, which is where the little town of Hiwassee is a few miles. A bunch of people are stopping to resupply. So I don't think I'm going to stop there. The town of Franklin, North Carolina is, if I can do 13 1/3 miles a day, starting today, it's 3 days away. And I've got food for 3 days. Not exactly what I'd like, but I can mix and match and, you know, eat some spoonfuls of peanut butter to get by. I think I'm going to do that. I don't feel like stopping and wasting half a day trying to hitch a ride into Dix and all that, especially if I'm feeling good. So if I'm really dogging it, maybe I'll stay there tonight, but I'll probably keep on going. And I have an uncle that lives out a couple hours from Franklin, and I think I might give him a holler and see if he wants to come out and hang out on Sunday. That'll be the day that I pull in there. Or I pull in there Saturday night, so maybe he'll want to come hang out Saturday night, Sunday, or something. If not, I will just have a relaxing... If he doesn't come out, I'll probably get in Saturday night, and I'll probably spend the night there. Maybe get a budget hotel or something. Do some laundry. And check, make sure I'm still on the trail. Get talking and forget where I'm going. Do some laundry and maybe just check out late and just take a half day that day. That might be good. We'll see how I'm feeling. It's still a few days away. Last night was magnificent. Best sleep I've had since I've been here. So quiet, no one snoring, no sign of anything. It was awesome. The sunrise woke me up this morning. Absolutely beautiful. And here I am. Another day. Which reminds me, actually, let's see. This is the beginning of my 6th day. Well, my first day was a half day, but if we count that as a full day, this is the beginning of my 6th day. And then again, if we count the first day as a full day, I've got 15 days out here. So I am a third of the way through. Just kind of exciting and kind of depressing. I would imagine that's probably how most people feel out here. You sort of go back and forth, you know. Some moments you just you're thinking, is this the last day yet? I don't know if I can do this, man. 10 more days? Wow. Or, you know, 4 more months or whatever. But most of the time, you think, oh my gosh, already a third of the way through. You know, what a shame. I've got to just keep my eyes open and enjoy all of this. Sorry, I'm feeling my chin again. Because before I know it, I'm gonna be gone. And who knows when I get back here again, so. All right. Time to enjoy. Well, I got to Dix Creek, and wasn't much to speak of. I thought maybe it would be a big creek, but it's just a little stream like all the other streams I've crossed, so I don't know. Anyway, I did take the opportunity to walk into town. It's about a half mile to the hiker's hostel. And I wasn't going to do that. So I didn't really need anything. But honestly, I kind of needed the break. And so I hiked in. It was a half mile there, half mile back. And sat there for a while. Got 2 hot dogs and ate a package of Pop-Tarts and had a Coke. Oh, it was the best food ever. It's good for me mentally. It's really, I don't know if it was very good for my gut. And I picked up a couple things. I don't think I've been getting enough carbs. So I got some packages of ramen. I'm gonna have a half package of ramen every night for dinner, along with some of my packaged salmon or whatever else I have. See if that helps a little bit. And I don't know, that's about all. I'm back on the trail now. Got probably 3 hours and maybe 6 miles. This, at home I hike, 3 to 4 miles an hour. Up and down this stuff, I'm getting close to averaging about 2. So, right in there. So, I figure 6 miles, 3 hours. That'll get me into camp around 6. And that'd be plenty of time. Set up, and I really got all my ducks in a row today. I don't need to do anything. I really just like to get set up, lay down, fall asleep as soon as I can, and try to get a good long night's sleep. If I could get 9 hours tonight, that would be the first time I've gotten close to that. And it'd be really good. So anyway, that's my plan. I keep trucking, and we'll see where I make it to. Wherever I camp tonight, it's going to be pretty close to the North Carolina border, I think, within a few miles. So no way I have it in me to make that tonight. But the thought did cross my mind a couple of days ago. But that means tomorrow, for sure, I'll get a good picture of me with the border sign. It'd be exciting to move on to a different state. All right. So when I was training this winter, when I started getting back into hiking and backpacking, and I had no idea I was going to do this trip yet, I started keeping track of my training hikes. Every time I do 7 or 8, 9, 10 miles, something decent, decent size, not just a little walk around the neighborhood, I would log it, and just as a kind of a goofy little motivational thing for myself, I would come back and track on the Appalachian Trail where that distance would have gotten me. So, day 1, if I hiked 7.5 miles, maybe that got me to ABC shelter. And then if I hiked 10 miles, a couple days later, that'd get me to the next place. And then after several weeks, all of a sudden I made it to North Carolina, right? And so it was just a fun way for me to keep myself motivated and get myself out there doing more. And just to keep track. It's kind of interesting to know, I feel like I've been doing a lot of hiking at home, but it took forever to get to North Carolina. So kind of put things in a perspective a little. Well, anyway, so when I came out here, or when I found out I was, most likely going to be able to make it out here, I looked back at my log and saw that I had done, I think it was 158 miles, or something real close to that, at home. And I realized I have 14 and a half days out here on the AT. So that kind of works out. If I could do 11 miles a day, I would get to that 158 mile mark plus, right? And so I kind of made that my goal. I thought, well, it'd be pretty neat. All these places that I've been looking at home. Every time I finish a hike, I see I got to this location, that location, this shelter, etc. It'd be neat to hike along and see all those places whose names I've been looking at. And so it just so happens that that distance of 158 miles almost gets me to Fontana Dam, Fontana Lake, start of the Smoky Mountain National Forest. So I kind of made that goal in the back of my head that that's where I would reach. I'd like to reach during this hike. 14 and a half days. I'd love to make it to Fontana Lake. It's maybe a little bit of a stretch goal. Right now, I'm actually a little bit ahead of that. But I started out doing a lot of miles, and you know, I'm kind of feeling them. I don't know. I could just get stronger and stronger, or what happens to a lot of people is they start out too fast. They really bog down, and they've got to take a couple days off, one or two here and there, until they can get built up to the point where they're ready to, to do those big miles. So I don't know which one's going to happen to me. Still shooting for Fontana. A more realistic goal, from the start, I'm going to be really disappointed if I don't make it goal is the outfitter NOC that is in, I think, the little town of Wasser, close to Bryson City, North Carolina. So that's where I'm hoping to get to as a minimum, and maybe Fontana as well. We'll see. So I don't know. I may be setting myself up for failure by picking a goal like that, but I've never been too afraid of failing. It's nice to have a goal to stretch for, so that's what I'm shooting for. All right, I better start walking a little faster if I'm going to make it. Hey, usually by this late in the day, I'm tired enough, I guess. I'm not filming anymore, but now the sun's on this side, so you get to see my other bad side. I was just wandering along and thinking about the hostel today that I stopped at. I don't think I mentioned earlier, but it was called the Top of Georgia, or the Top of Georgia Hiker Hostel, and they're really nice people. Very helpful, and they let me use the bathroom and throw my trash away there and all these other things, that they don't always want you to do if you're not staying there. One of the things I was going to mention is, I don't know if I've ever said in my videos, but of course everybody out on the trail knows that at all sorts of stops, hostels and shelters and stuff, there are hiker boxes, and it's where hikers leave the stuff they don't want. Let's say you headed out and you thought, hey, I love ramen noodles. You brought a 24-pack, and after eating 13 days in a row, you said, I'd rather eat leaves, so you dump the rest of them in a hiker box, and somebody comes by and says, like me, and says, hey, I'm not getting enough carbs, I need some ramen. You just pick it out, whatever you want. So, and also gear. People will sometimes leave gear. They'll think they have a great idea for, how they're gonna get out and backpack, and then they realize that whatever they're using doesn't fit their needs, and they dump it in a hiker box and get something new. So anyway, they had a hiker box there. I checked through it I was hoping to get another water bottle since mine's got a little leak, but I didn't see anything. They didn't have one to buy at the hiker hostel. And they did have some stuff I'd like to have, but man, at this point, I'm not putting 1 gram of extra weight in my pack that I don't need on this hike, so I left it there. Anyway, when I was just getting ready to get things packed up, because after I was all done inside, eating and buying everything, doing everything I needed to do, I went out front, tapped into their Wi-Fi, posted some things to Facebook, and just sat around and relaxed a little. As I was getting ready to get things together to go, a young woman, girl, whatever, checked in to stay at the hostel. And I have to admit, as she was coming out the door and walking past the benches where I was sitting, and they showed her to the hostel room, all I could think of was that she got to just that very moment walk inside and lay right down on a bed. Oh, and I wanted to lay down on a bed too. And it certainly crossed my mind to just check in and crash out for the night. But that's not why I'm here, so I took my belly full of hot dogs and Pop-Tarts and Coke and hiked a half mile back down that asphalt highway and got on the trail and started my 6.5 miles to my campsite. My second 6.5 miles for the day to my campsite. So, as you can tell, I haven't quite gotten over it. Maybe I should have stayed there. Actually, it's been a great hike. I'm doing great. It's awesome out. It's hot. The sun's hot, but there's a cool breeze. And every once in a while, it just really crops up, and I stop and take my hat off, scare all the animals, and just let it cool me off a little, and just keep on going. I'm doing pretty well. It's probably just have, I don't know, maybe an hour left. Not really sure. A couple miles maybe. Had to stop back a ways. I was really just getting a little overheated. So I just stopped and took 10 minutes and drank a little extra water and just cooled off in the shade and feel great again. So need to keep drinking water, and I know there's a stream. I can hear it. It's quite a ways away, but there's a stream up here, so I've still got 2/3 of a liter probably. So I've got plenty to get me all the way to the campsite. But when I get to this stream, I will top everything off, and I'll have 2.5 or so liters going into the campsite so that I have enough to cook tonight, and, well, not, cook, but make my cold ramen and cold oatmeal in the morning and keep myself hydrated. All right. Another day almost over. Day 6 almost over. Wow. It kind of shocked me this morning when I realized that day 5, at the end of day 5 was basically 1/3 of the way. But it's not very far to a half. 7.5 days is halfway, and I'm almost at the end of 6. It seems like a really long time to still be on the trail, and a really short time at the same time. I certainly am going to miss all this. Getting goosebumps thinking about it. All right.